Hello everyone, Astekz here, and today we will be covering a question that surprisingly I get asked a lot. Um, and for me, I feel like it's a simple answer, but I guess when you're new to trading, you don't really think of it in the same way as me. But after this video, hopefully, you have a clearer outlook on this question. So it's, should I use one setup or multiple? Um, and the way I look at this is it's the same as the real world when you hear the saying like jack of all trades, master of none. I think that's the same term for trading. It should always be one setup at least in the beginning. You know, you want to master one setup, repeat it over and over again, have the data surrounding it to say is this a working system or not. If you are going for multiple, it's very noisy, especially if you're new. And when you're a new trader, it wouldn't be out of the question to see something like this. Like honestly, the amount of people that have um, asked me to look at their charts and what they did wrong or whatnot, and then you just see a million different indicators. I'm not entirely sure they're fully familiar with how they work, how they should use them in confluence with trading. You know, all the different things that come in, line with having these indicators. You need to understand price action firstly and how to use it in confluence. And the way I see it is it's similar to like betting. The more variables that you bring into trading, the less accurate it's going to be, right? It's like football, sports betting, where you've got two teams of 11 men, and then you go from betting on a single to having like a fourfold, right? Where you're betting on four different teams. That's that's four different games. That's eight different teams. So many different variables then get brought into the scenario. Then you've got to rely on all of them coming in. And it's the same as when you start bringing in all these indicators. You're bringing in so much different variables to the decision you're making. It makes it a lot harder. You know, realistically, I like to keep things as simple as possible. But if you've watched my range trading video that I've already uploaded, it's very simple that I've now built around it. Like, you're gonna have to find a a setup that you like. It's very difficult to now create something new. You kind of just build onto things, right? So you're going to have to find a strategy that you like, whether it's, I don't know, like swing trading, scalping, order flow, using moving averages, using VWAPs, using all these different things that are now brought into trading. You're going to have to find one and work with it and decide if it's for you or not. Data test so that you've got enough, journals, so you've got enough data to say, is this working for me or not, right? Because what should happen is you should be able to, let's say this for example, right? You should be able to go to your journal after testing the strategy. Let's just say you put $100 on a sub account and you make 50 to 100 trades, right? This is not specific. This is more of a degen account, so the statistics here don't matter too much. But let's just say that you ran a sub account. It gives you 30 wins, 30 losses, but the longs, profits heavily outweigh the short side of things. Then you're going to have to go and look at it and say, what was right or wrong about the setups? Why was it working more so for longs? Why was I earning a lot more in longs? Why was I not working in shorts? Was it the system? Was I using it at the wrong time? Was I going against trend? And then you start to develop a set of rules. And it's really important that because the amount of people I see that haven't got a rule book, or it doesn't necessarily mean you have to have something written, but it should be ingrained in your brain that when you go to a setup, you have a list of rules that you abide by and tick off, right? And then that is what you work with as your bread and butter, and you don't budge from that. Because when you start budging from that, again, you're adding in different variables to the system you're building. Your system should be very robotic. It shouldn't be fun. Like, it shouldn't be a fun thing to do. That's why I always say, if you're gonna, run a second degen account, if you want to try and do new things and get a bit of adrenaline in the market. But for the most part, your main trading strategy should be very robotic, and when you're going into these trades, you should then understand, first off the bat, what's my risk, like what can I lose in these setups, and then from the data of building the system, you should also understand, well, what ones work the most for me to go risk on. What defines a 0.5 setup to a 3-point setup, right? In terms of risk, that these are the things that you'll start to incorporate. I mean, they're pretty basic in terms of trading anyway. You should understand risk management. Like, I don't want to sit here and start preaching about risk management. Like, either you learn it or you don't. If you don't, eventually you get wrecked. So it's kind of as simple as that. But once you then, incorporate someone's system, and I guess we've been seeing a lot of it, like over the last year, of like the forex type traders with the ICT style and that. But what you should then be able to do is, once you've mastered like this one setup, and you've got some, a few years experience in the market, you then start to add on. And I guess the best way of looking at it is, like, you see how TVs now, it feels like they're releasing a new one every month from the same brand, like Samsung and LG. They're releasing new ones like every month, it feels like. But every time it's just like these little add-ons, and you're like, all right, do I actually need this or not? And I feel like that's the same in trading. You're going to have something like your base already there, and then you decide if you wanna add on to it or not, and then define how am I getting the most out of my system or not? Am I trading the right asset that suits this? Because and I guess this is something that I'm kind of against anyway, is unless you've got a strict system that is for example, Bitcoin, I don't think you should trade it. Unless you've got a system that is solely created for Bitcoin, I don't feel like you should be trading it unless you have size restrictions, in terms of liquidity and stuff. Like, you can't generally pile into alts, or it doesn't suit you, right? Because then we're trying to make sure that when we've got our setup, look at this, for example, on Maker, what we're looking at, right? This type of move you're not really going to get on Bitcoin when I get the trigger, but then we get a 56% move. I'm always looking to take advantage of what the crypto market gives me. Otherwise, I would just go and trade stocks, because it's a lot easier to trade, but the moves are a lot smaller. I'm trying to get the most out of these markets. I'm trying to get the most for my time in these markets. It's an important metric to measure time in the market, time in the trade. Was it worth being in that asset? An example, I guess, would be like Link, for example. It's been a complete underperformer in the market. Is it worth tying up your money in Link when there's 20 other assets available in the market that are likely going to move more? It doesn't matter about what direction. What we're looking for is percentage move. Is there better options elsewhere? So again, a metric that you can journal is time spent in trades, as well. Hopefully this helps. Again, just focus on mastering one setup. Build a set of rules. It's important to journal. If you're not journaling, then how do you know, essentially, if you're going to be successful or not with the strategy? Then, you get 50, 100, 200 trades under your belt, and then you have a look at the data, and then work from there. If it's completely not working, then you move on. If it's working and you assess the trades and you find out what was wrong on the losing trades, what could you have done better on the winning trades, then you start adding in those little tweaks. It takes time. Like, it's not easy, but for the most part, it just takes a bit of effort. And unfortunately, a lot of people want to get rich quick and end up losing. So hopefully this helps, and I'll be back soon.